Greetings, pirates and privateers, and welcome to another tutorial from Cartel Incorporated. We've spruced up the place a little bit since the last time we were here because today we're going to be taking on a capital ship. So needed to make sure that we had the space and that things were well lit, even though it's morning and that's the sun coming up. So welcome to Uncle Ted's Scrapyard. If you've read the books, you know where we are. If you haven't read the books, you should check out cartelincorporated.ca and see what you think. Anywho, Magoo, in order to start with the capital ship, we need a capital ship block. I think you can do this from a basic... Yep, not there. So, we're going to have to go over to our newly installed advanced constructor. I think you can do it with a large one too, but I popped an advanced one in here just to make sure that we had all the bases covered. So, we go to blocks, and there it is. One capital ship block, please. Now, the ship that we're going to be working on today, I'm starting from scratch. I've got sort of a design in mind, but I think I'm going to focus it on being sort of a beginning mining vessel. Something that you can use early in the game that's going to help you get your empire rolling without too much trouble. Let's see, where'd that stupid thing go? There it is. Up you here. That'll work. Now, unlike our other builds, where we put a little stand to work on the craft with, this one we're not going to do that. We are going to pop it down here. This is going to serve as the very back of the ship. And we're going to build off into the distance there. Now, hopefully we don't get that green glowy bullshit that we got last time when this drops down, but we'll see in a moment. And, let's see. I'm going to connect to... Oh, it just dropped down. I don't know. Base. This player. And we're going to go... Yeah, container controller large. I think... There we go. 94 steel blocks. There should be 100 of them. But 94 is enough to start with. So we're going to grab those. We're going to stick them down here in our toolbar. And the first thing that I like to start with is designing the landing bay that you can park in the back of your big ship. So, again, it comes with a core surrounded by steel blocks with an arrow pointing towards the front of the ship. The arrow is really important because it tells you which way your cannons are going to fire. Unfortunately, they don't fire to the side. On stuff like hover vessels, it works the same with the resource collectors, like that tree grinder thing that we have on the front of the hover van over there. They only work forward, they don't work when you're going sideways, so arrow's kind of a big deal. Speaking of the hover van, one of the things that we want this back bay to be big enough for is a hover vessel. So what I want to do to begin with is give the hover van a quick way to get in here. Let's see, we're going to start with you so that we can park it on the platform there and then build around it. MC medium, there we go. Just, pardon me, excuse me, bumping into stuff. Not a good pilot. I just build them. So, if we take a look from behind here, looks like 3 blocks wide is barely enough to fit the hover vessel. So, we kill the power. We're going to jump out here and take a look at what we're working with. That's our hover vessel, so we know right off the bat we need to extend the floor. Here we go. And because we need a door on the back, and quite possibly a door on the front, we're going to do it 2 more. That should be the length of our inner docking bay. And then we're going to put 1 length on either side. And take a look at that. Now if we put a wall here, that'll be just enough to get the boat in and for us to get out. Now that also means, now this is, you know, kind of a wide hovercraft with the big pontoons that I stuck on the side from the show, so we should be alright. Another thing to consider though, when we're doing the door on the back, we have a few different options, and I tend to like going for the standard bay door. So I'm going to fire one of those up, and we're going to see what the smallest one is that we can get. See here, bits and pieces for a big boat. Thank you very much. Do we have anything? Ah, no we don't. You know why? We need to go through and enable a few things. Now, I've made it up to level 17. I should have enough unlock points to get us all the stuff that we need for this vessel. So, medium fuel tank for now, large oxygen. We'll worry about this stuff later, because it's not necessary for flying the boat. We are going to need a warp drive, and to that end we got to go elevator block, got to go gravity generator, taxid tank, warp drive. Alright, don't need a teleporter, any of that BS right now. Don't need the micro jump. Compact shield generator and shield generator. We're going to go with a compact for now, because this is just going to be a little boat. So we got the basic large generator. Now RCS, this is rotational control system. In vanilla Empyrean Galactic Survival, these are almost necessary to be able to turn your ship around. In Reforged Eden 2, it's a little bit different. If you are careful and you put your thrusters at the corners of whatever it is that you're flying, they should be enough to turn the boat around for you. So you almost don't really need these. We're going to leave it unselected for now. Go for the improved large generator, not advanced just yet, and thrusters. Now, I like to use advanced ions when I'm building capital ships, but they can get kind of expensive, so when we're starting, I think large ion thrusters are going to be the target, at least for the drive thrusters. We can use mediums and smalls for maneuvering and that sort of thing. But yeah, for right now, we'll just use those 3. Let's see, what else? Don't need CPU extension yet. When we get to that point in the build, if we are trying to place a turret, or if we're trying to place a ship system, and it looks like it's going to go over, then we can unlock these. I just want to be careful with the amount of unlock points that we have, and make sure that we don't go over too soon. Ammunition controller, yes. We are going to be using, at the very least, GATs, but we also might be using mining lasers, that sort of thing, which is something else I should check and see if we have access to yet at level 17. Let's go harvest controller. Yep. Tool turrets at level 20, laser drill at 25. So we're going to leave room for those. I might have to go out and bust open a couple of POIs between the tutorials here, make sure that I can carry this off. But we do have the industrial drill module available to us. I'll install a couple of these just so that we know where the laser drills are going to go. Honestly, you don't want to take a capital ship into an asteroid. It's a pain in the ass. Alright, Light automatic turrets. Yes, please. Like laser turrets, we don't need for a miner. Laser turrets are fantastic if you're looking at taking down something with shields. The ship that we're building, or starting the build on today, is going to want to take on rocks almost exclusively and just keep drones off its back. So I don't want to spend any extra where I don't have to. Alright, we've already got the constructors and the deconstructor put together. Medical devices. Now, I did steal a couple from a POI earlier, and I've got them attached to the base, which is why they're there, and I didn't have that done. But here it is. This is what we were looking for before. Hangar doors. So we'll check those out in a minute. Let's just finish the rest of the unlocks here. We need armored automatic doors for air tightness, which you'll see. Large ramps, sure. Boarding ramp, not sure we're going to use something like that just yet. Let's just leave it like that for now. Landing gear, yep, we need some of those. A detector, absolutely. Need to know where that sweet, sweet ore is hiding. Industrial floodlights are good for lighting up the area around you, and since this isn't going to be a combat craft and you're going to be the security for it, being able to see what you're shooting at is good. Sounds like lunch is getting close. Enhanced matter transceiver. More Wi-Fi is always good. And under here we have the hydroponics bays. Now this is if you're building an all-in-one ship. Hydroponics bays are great for growing all kinds of stuff on, and we don't need them today. Large auxiliary cores. We haven't been to drone space yet. These will allow more and more CPU to be added. Basically, these are just for big-ass battleships that are meant for punching holes and stuff. Not for us today. Same with the weaponry down here. We don't have any use for it. It's not going to help us mine material for the big base that I've got planned later on. So, where are we at? 282 left. I think there was one or two things that we skipped over. Let me just take another quick look here. Got the sentry guns, got the light automatics, harvest controller, drill module. I want those soon. Actually, this one, tool turrets, I'm going to leave a little bit of room for possibly on this build, because in one of the latest updates, Revian mentioned that mining turrets on a CV can now be used on a planet, which would make parking over a deposit and mining it from the comfort of the ship a wonderful endeavor. Wouldn't have to jump into something like the Hedgehog to go get it done. You can just do it from the comfort of your captain's chair. Don't need any forward-facing guns. We're good there. CPU extension we'll get to, like I said, when we need it. Don't need RCS. Improved is good enough. Plasma turbines are another. These help with energy use. Might need to unlock them later, but not to begin with. Shield boosters, no. We have the shield generator. Got the warp drive. Passenger seat and control stations. You need a place to drive the boat from. Nice that I almost overlooked that, huh? Alright, armor locker. Not yet. But this, big fuel tanks, yeah, we can take those. It's a mining barge. It's going to be burning fuel for a while, so. There we go. And now we can go into our constructor. And if we check again, lots more stuff is opened up for us. So, I'll take one hangar door, please. And if we go into our giant collection of stuff, there we go. As you can see, in my travels, in between the tutorials, I've picked up a few bits and pieces from floating wrecks out in space around the planet. We have 3 medium ions and 2 small ions already that we don't have to craft, plus a large oxygen tank and a medium fuel tank, and an improved large generator. It's already there. So this we can put onto the boat just as is. We've got most of what it takes to make one of these boats actually fly. I also took the liberty of going out and getting much titanium, much sadium, copper, cobalt, silicon, neodymium. That's kind of a big one for building the engines for these beasts. Got us a bunch of fuel and enough oxygen to last for sure. So yeah, we're pretty well stocked. Well, now that we've got the door, let's go take a look and see what the smallest one that we can fit on something like this looks like. Because again, this isn't a giant capital ship. This is a... there we go. What do you look like? You are 5 units wide. So this one, 531, 541, 631, 651. Looks like it goes up from there all the way to 14 by 7. So that's going to be it. Now, remember when you're placing one of these, the outside edge of the door is only half a block, but it does take up that space, so you've only got 3 to get through. So this is probably going to work out just fine for us. It should sit right across the back there on what we've got going on already. So I am going to get our stand-in out of here. Now that we know... Oh! One final thing. How tall is it? And will the boat clear? It is 3 blocks tall. So if we take our 3 blocks and put it out of the way of the door, and remember that 2 is what it's got to clear, with the turret, just barely. So that means we might want to go for the taller door. This one here, the 5x4. So that's what we're going to end up using. Now, we can get this out of here. Just park it off in the corner here. Take our door back over to our ship. These get a little finicky when you try to place them. Let's see if we can do it from inside the boat. Here we go. So that door, see how it's 3 tall there? And then you get a whole other block. So that hoverboat ought to be able to just fit through this sucker without impacting any of these. So, I'm going to recollect these. Man, I got to upgrade this multi-tool too. Alright. And what we might do, just to have a little extra space there, because we could use half blocks along the inside here and then have the interior space. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. So we'll start here just for a beginning. We're going to go half blocks. Run this up to the front. Back over here. And that'll give you an idea of what the bay is going to look like on the inside. It's a pretty close fit. Could make it even thinner, but one of the things about these blocks, you see how it says 3750 down on the bottom right corner there for the hit points? And if I point at the ones on the floor, they're 5,000. The different shapes that you get when you right-click in build mode have different levels depending on their size, right? So a little cube like this, it's only got 2,700. this little guy down here, 2695. Little beam in the side, right? The thicker the block, the stronger it is against incoming fire. So half blocks is about as small as I like to go when it comes to the outside walls of the boat that I'm making. So, we have our hangar bay that we can fit our boat in. And now we're going to take one more block here, and this is going to be the wall block. So we'll go straight across. We know this is going to be a wall, so we are going to pop 2 of those in. We're going to leave a doorway open. And then, just for the time being, we're going to stretch this out nice and far. Well, that's going to be a problem. I tried picking that thing up and it won't come. Might have to run it over with the hover van before we get there. So, on this boat, that's the docking bay. This is going to be the engineering section. And what goes in an engineering section but a warp drive? And the generator and all that other good stuff. So we already have the generator, but I want to put the warp drive front and center because that's going to be the middle of the ship. It's going to be the most important to protect. So here it is down here. One of those, please. And one of those. And one of those. That's the shield generator. And let's see here. I don't see that massive fuel tank anywhere. I'm probably missing it. That's alright, we'll get to it. What are we missing for making you? I'm curious. Gold ingots. Okay. So we'll put a regular Wi-Fi in first, and we'll get to the rest of it later. Oh, there it is. There's the big one. What are we missing? Aluminum foil. Didn't see any aluminum in my travels. Might have to go out there and see if I can scrape some together. But that's okay. We don't need that to get off the ground. You can take up the space with... Oh! And why can't we build the shield? Where'd you go? What are we low on? Advanced capacitors. And if we go here, we can find our advanced capacitor somewhere. Is that you? Power coil, flux coil, advanced computer, semiconductor, advanced electromagnet, gauss rail. Where are you? Come on. Advanced power regulator, deuterium fuel cell, bioethanol, promethium hydrocell. Nope. Industrial fuel, you're in here somewhere. Focusing lenses. What about you? Advanced capacitor, okay. Plastic tubing, neodymium, cobalt, aluminum powder. That's the thing we're missing. Well, I know what I need to stock up on for the next tutorial. That's alright though. Looks like we got the warp drive and the pentaxid tank. There's pentaxid, there's warp. Yep. So we can do most of this. And at the very least get the beginnings of this ship to come together. Now I don't want to build a massive battle behemoth here. I want to try and keep this compact and usable as possible. So we're going to be real tight with our engineering section here. And number 2. Yes, he doesn't even want to show up. Now, I could back it right up against the door, but we want to be able to access the area if we need it. So, one out. There we go. Warp drive is a big mama jama. And the pentaxid tank. Where are we going to put you? I think at the other end. Vertical, because it's a 2x1. So just so that we don't take up more space than we need to. Stick you right there. So far, so good. And we're gonna need, we're gonna need a lot more steel blocks. So I'm gonna get somebody working on that while we work on the rest of this. Output is the input. Bits and pieces for a nice big boat. No, we want blocks. And a couple hundred of those, please. And I've got no end to the iron. I think I've got a 8,000 iron count in this thing. So we will be just fine. That's one. That's two. In the beginning, this thing's going to be just a big old giant slab. That's okay. Can work out plenty of details later, once we have the basics put together for this boat. Now, because we made the landing bay the size that we did, we're not going to have room over here. This just basically contains the warp drive. Be careful standing next to it. It's quite irradiated and will cook you. So, we'll have to make a decision, and I think the decision that I want to make is that that can be accessed from above in an engineering section that we put up there that has all the rest of the bits and bobs sort of in the middle. Yeah. That should work out just fine. Now, let's see how many of these steel blocks we got. Where are you? 33. We'll work with that for now. That constructor will just keep pumping them out. Alright, so there's big thick wall. Notice I didn't do a thin one on this. It's because later on we can upgrade this to hardened steel or combat steel, which is always a good idea when you're trying to protect something. And once more from the corner. There we go. There is the beginning to our boat. Now, we need a lot more than we've got there, so let's see. It's a good way to start. I think what we'll do, since we're going to be accessing everything from above, a good way to keep people away would be... Oh! I forgot about my oxygen again. Damn this planet. It's actually a good reminder that I am playing in an actual game. This isn't creative mode at all, so I'm still bound by all of the big issues that you would face if you were starting out on a planet somewhere and needed to do this for real. I haven't cheated anything into the game, haven't used God mode to set anything up. It's all as you would encounter it. So, gotta remember to eat too, and it's gonna get hot sitting out here, so I'm gonna have to hop into either the hover van or the Hedgehog over here if it gets a little too crispy outside. Let's open that hangar door for now. There we go. Continue building. Alright, so that's going to be our floor. We're going to need walls. And there we go. Oh, we're all out of blocks. Where are we here? 53. That'll keep us going for a bit. And one there. Now, if there's going to be a floor across the top of that warp drive, it's going to get radioactive. So, I think what we'll do is raise everything by a block. Still leave it open and accessible so you can jump down there if you need to for a couple of seconds and go fix stuff. But we don't need a door here anymore. So I'm going to put a block here. We'll fill this in with engineering gubbins. Actually, we could go and probably crank out a few of those things right now. Notice I get a little bit squirrely when I'm creating. Things tend to flow, move from here to there. But it's all part of the process. Okay, so here we are. We're going to need one of those. What else are we going to need? Wi-Fi we're going to put up in the front. What are you? Clone chamber. Won't need that yet. Yeah, pretty much, let's grab Wi-Fi and we'll stick it in there for now. If we need to move it later, we can do that. So, crank out a Wi-Fi. And at 4, now I'm going to chuck in an O2 tank. Actually, that's where those can go. We got 2 of those fuel tanks, so there'll be like one big one. Also, the improved large generator. We're going to have to find a spot for that too. And 35 more of you. It's just kicking along. And, oh yeah, we already found a light automatic turret for a capital vessel that was out on one of my little runs. So we're going to use that for sure. Here, let's just pop them into the bar. Happy little turret. And double check, make sure there isn't anything else that I left out for the time being. Thrusters don't need. Alright, detector. Matter transceiver. Alright, let's go take a look at that engineering section again. And see what we can do. Yeah, so for now, we're going to go detector on the floor, Wi-Fi on this floor, and this can be an elevator to get us up to the bridge, which should be on level with the top of that door. So far, anyway. There is another thing that we need to start working on, and I should probably go set one of these things making those too. I'll use you. So, because it's a mining vessel, we are going to need controllers. Oh, you can only build container and ammo, so that'll work for now. We do need a harvest, but we also might, let's just do ammo for you. Oh, not 100. Just 1 is enough. But 100 of you. Because we can hook these up to any of the 3 other ones there. So let's go make a harvest controller. We're going to need to be able to access these if we want to take our ship a-mining. Ammunition. There's the harvest. 1 of you, please. And then some elevator blocks. I'm gonna have to see how many of those there are now. 2. And 5. That's enough for now. And let's pop those in. So, ammo, yes, and harvest, yes. And you guys are still cooking, so we're going to take the elevators. And let's see. Now, 8 elevator blocks. this up that high, and we want to go one more, just for now. These blocks you can walk into if it's powered on, powered off, travel up like an elevator. It's awesome. Love it for working on stuff. Now, front of the boat. And this is where we're going to put our cargo controllers. So I am going to put them... Oh, I'm out of Wi-Fi range. I don't think I actually made a Wi-Fi for the base. Let's go take care of that. Everything else has been so close, I haven't had to be so far away from it. You. And we're gonna make sure you're for everybody. Base capital vessel, yes. Alright. And we're going to reconnect to you. And put back all the stuff, starting with you. Ammo. Harvest. Don't need those yet. Yeah, let's put the generator in. I'm going to have to find a spot for it. O2 and fuel. Now the fuel cylinders are radioactive as well. So warp drive, fuel cylinders, engines, all of those things, you want to keep one block between it and where you're going to be. Otherwise it could get relatively roasty toasty. Yeah, there's the aluminum powder. Don't have nearly enough. Okay, what else were we looking for? Was that it for right now? Gunnage, for now. And 148 steel blocks, okay. So first thing I want to do is take this little Wi-Fi. Up on top of something. There we go. Now, let's see if that's enough. Yeah, looks like we're okay. Not getting that warning message yet. Alright. Lights on. Up here. And up on top of the wall. Let's try. There we go. And we are going to start with you, number 2. What are you on that side? Your ammo. Okay, and then 3. Your harvest. Now we can take a look and see how many of the containers extensions it's finished. It's enough to start with. Alright. Back to 1. 2 there. I'll have to go back and delete that other one. So, container controllers. The way these work, these extensions connect to those boxes. Those boxes are what you can interact with to find out what's inside the box. These just make it bigger and take up extra space on whatever it is that you are building them into as a consequence of volume. So, what we have here is 12 units, looks like, including its base. Meaning, oh, let's get rid of you. So, this has 96,000 storage. You can get up to 640,000 per container. Not sure that we need all that much yet, but if you just have the one, 24,000. So we can probably extend it a little bit more because this is still a pretty dinky ship. So let's go one more row and then we'll do the same on the other side. Beauty. Now, unfortunately, we can't do anything in the middle here because we have two different controllers and they don't like each other. So they won't work together. That's alright, though. We've got the basics of our first capital coming together here. Let's see. Still need to figure out what we're going to do with... Alright, fuel. That we can do. 6. I've got 2 of those, and I've got a tree in the way. Yeah, we're really going to have to figure that out, aren't we? Will this work? See, I tried attacking it with a drill. Tried the chainsaw. Tried a multi-tool. Let's see. Retrieve. Salvage. Nothing happens when I click. Upgrade, upgrade. Nope. So you're not going to work. Let's stay on retrieve blocks. What about, try that chainsaw again, just for fun. Yeah, I got nothing. Damn fruit tree won't leave me alone. Alright. Since it's interfering with the build, I wonder if I can even get the hover van under there now. Alright. Desperate times. I have to see if this will work. Might be the only chance we have. Here, little tree. All right. This is definitely not working. That is one resilient fruit tree. Damn. That's really going to throw a wrench into the works. I wonder if there's another way to make it go away. Well, no time like the present to check it out. It's a tutorial, right? We're learning. So, if you go into your console and you type IM, item menu state is enabled. Hit escape. And I believe it was H is the key. That brings up every item in the game. So, if you type in debug, it provides you a selection of tools. Project Eden debug drill, assault rifle debug, drill debug, drilling holes in terrain, debug multi-tool, indestructible, instant salvage, that might work, tackle gun. Never ever use this on something you've built. It takes things apart. That warning in red is extremely, extremely poignant. Alright, so I think we're going to try the multi-tool first. And there we go. What options do we get? 100 micro damage, 1 micro damage. Salvage your own and public structures. Always return components. Upgrade, downgrade, rotate. Nope, not upgrade. Salvage. Still won't let me do it to that. Alright. So, you go in the trash. And we hit H again. I'm almost at my wit's end here. I gotta try something, right? Large, flattening, small power fine, small fine drilling, medium fine drilling, large... Okay, so this one. Will not allow me. Okay, we'll focus on the rest of the ship. That's maddening. But it's alright, we're almost at the end of the hour anyway, so what I'm going to do for now... What do we got? I'll put one fuel in, and we'll work on those container controllers another time. So that's going to be a fuel in that hole that the tree is taken up, just so you know. And oxygen. Nope. It's going to go right behind it. Nope, that's fuel. That's not what I wanted to do. I'm just batting 1,000 today, guys. Multi-tool, retrieve blocks, that one. Okay, 5. So there's our fuel and our oxygen. I wonder if that might not be a good spot for the generator to go too. How big is that generator, number 4? You, sir, are 1 wide and 3 tall. The biggest ones that you can get before you go fusion are 2 by 2 by 4 or 5, I think. They're just much bigger models of this particular one, but seeing this one's size makes me wonder if I can't hide it right in there. Well, that's where it's going to live for now. Because that would make it the end of the engineering section. It could make for a pretty neat looking interior once we get into this thing. Access, 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 access to all of you, access to the warp. Sort of like a Jeffries tube in, you know, that property that I can't mention. Okay. Coming along pretty nicely. We're done with the first bit here, but do join me for the second and third and possibly fourth episodes of the Cartel Incorporated Capital Vessel tutorial build. Until next time, this is Grim, signing off.